All right, so now we go with the series that people have been waiting for, man. The series that people have been waiting for is obviously the Bucks and the Nets. They play tomorrow, right? I think 7:30 p.m. game 1. So I'm going to do my prediction beforehand, and obviously maybe probably uploads the same day or the day before. We'll see how it kind of goes, but obviously we're going to talk about the Bucks and the Nets, man. And basically, like, the Nets are the second or the number 2 seed, and the Bucks are the 3rd seed, obviously. And that's important because the Nets will have 4 games on their home court while the Bucks have 3. So the Nets have home court advantage. That is very crucial, especially now that fans are back. It does matter, right? The bubble shit, it didn't matter, but now it matters. So obviously, the Nets are the big three. The big three, like, you got the big three. One is averaging over 30. One is averaging over 25, and another one's averaging 28. So you got the big three averaging, like, 3-man's averaging 25, 26 plus. Like, that's actually reckless. I've never seen that before, especially at this level of ability, at this potent level, where it's mainly ISOs, you know what I'm saying? It's not just bare ball movement. Like, mans are killing off ISO, high efficiency. Every man's 50, 40, 90, basically. Like, this is what elite looks like. I've never seen anything like this, and this is why I'm here to give you that context, because I give you that context. So, like I was saying, man, obviously, like, the Nets are different. The Nets big three, like, that's something that is just unguardable. Don't matter even if you put Drew Holiday, and let's say Kyrie scores, Kyrie struggles. We've seen KD and versus the Celtics, KD and Harden went for 39 and 41 while Kyrie struggled, right? And yet they only lost by 5 because why? Tatum went for 50. So if you don't, I don't think that's the thing with the Bucks. Like, what player is ever going to go for 50? Now, they don't need to necessarily have a guy go for 50 because Tatum didn't have his big three properly with him. So you do have to have your main guy go for 50. It's more like a Luka situation, right? So that is different context, obviously. Now that you have your big three, you could have 3 guys go for 20, right? Well, not 3 guys go for 20. You could have 1 guy go for 30, 2 guys go for 20. You have stuff like that, right? So it doesn't mean necessarily that you need a man going for 50. So that context or that narrative doesn't really apply to this situation, right? But you do need potent a level of ability from these guys, because the Nets, what their game plan is going to be a switch everything game plan, right? A switch everything game plan. The Nets, you're not going to lock them up. You might let's say at worst, you might lock up one. And even when you lock up one, you're not really locking up one. That guy is just missing his shots, right? It don't matter if you force him to a tough shot or whatever. These guys who will make a living off of tough shots. So them missing is like literally strictly on them. It's not on you. There's nothing you had to do. You did help. You contributed to it, obviously, but it's not like because of you they miss. No, because we've seen them get 40 off of all tough shots. We've seen it. So for them to miss is normally just, it's an off night. That's like those caliber of players is normally just an off night. Now, you could play great defense to force them to have a more offer night. Obviously, that's applicable, but it's not like end all be all because of you. He can't score on him. It's not on that level. It's more so he contained him. He did well. Tip your hat off to the Drew or whoever to pad in. But at the end of the day, they'll still score 40 one day off of tough shots, one game off of so it's not, you can't really stop them. You could try and contain them, but you can't really stop them. What it comes down to is going to come down to, can you score on them at the same potent level that they could score on you, or can you score them at a more potent level that when they score on you, it's at a contained level? That's one or the other. That's the only way you're going to beat the Nets in 4 games. And now, can you do it for 4 games? Because you could do it for 1 game. Can you do it for 4 games where you win 4 games? And that's the difference. That's why you've seen the Celtics win that 1 game, because they were scoring and the Nets were still scoring, but their scoring was slightly more potent than the Nets scoring. In terms of just the role players, everybody stepping up, Tatum with 50. So they outscored them in that game, right? So that's why you've seen them. There's times where they were scoring, they were scoring well, but they'll have droughts because the Nets are actually still padding, and the Nets offense never has droughts. And even when it has droughts, they still have momentum, elite one-on-one buckets, whatever the case is. So, like, scoring is never an issue, but you're going to go through droughts. You're not going to score. Like, you've seen, and that's what I want people to understand. Like, there's a potential that this series might not be closer than people think, because what I do take away from the Bucks, I've seen a lot of droughts with the Bucks facing the Heat. I've seen a lot of droughts, but the Heat couldn't score at all. That now the Bucks were able to eventually, maybe after 5 minutes, maybe after a 7-minute stretch where both teams are in droughts and the Bucks are only slightly scoring here and there. Finally, now the Bucks, Forbes comes in and boom, boom, boom. Now the drought gets uplifted. But if you actually pay attention throughout that series, there's been multiple stretches, multiple games where both teams and the Bucks especially were on big droughts, right? And I'm saying if that's what you're doing, you can't afford that versus the Nets, because those droughts, droughts like that versus the Nets, you've seen them with the Celtics. When you have big droughts versus the Nets, like, unless you have to hope they have a drought, and their drought's not gonna last as long as yours. Best believe that. Best believe that. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's where I'm like, there's a potential, there's a looming cloud where this series could just be 5. There's a looming cloud where, like, if the Bucks are doing those droughts and the Nets are really like the 104 with the big 3, 104 points, and they're really clicking on like this offensively, forget the defense. If you go through droughts where like Giannis is not hitting, because remember, Giannis going to work, a lot of it was he was hitting threes. If Giannis is not hitting threes and Giannis is not involved, then now it's strictly Middleton and Jrue Holiday creating. So, you know, that's the thing people don't understand. The Nets switch everything. So you're going to have to ISO a lot. The Heat didn't really switch everything, right? They didn't really do it. There's times where they had miscommunication and stuff like that. But if the Nets switch everything, your buckets aren't going to look the same in terms of the Bucks. They're going to have to ISO a lot. And Middleton can ISO, but can you ISO it enough at that potent level where now you're getting bucket in a playoff setting? We're not talking about regular season where there's no pressure. In a playoff setting, can you score? Because that's what their game plan is going to be. They're going to probably start DeAndre, no more of that Blake stuff. They're going to start DeAndre, put DeAndre on Giannis again. They're going to try that same game plan, sag off him. You're all going to have to ISO. You're all going to have to ISO, and we're going to live off that. And then now that drum, DeAndre at the big unlocks Harden, especially even more, because now Harden's going to do his pick and roll stuff, and it's going to be a Capella Harden lob threat. You know, his game is going to be even more easier. Then now because DeAndre Jordan, because he's a rolling big, when DeAndre Jordan is there, the pull-up ability that Kyrie and KD are going to be able to get to is going to be even more potent, because when DeAndre sets a screen, that's what people forget. And when Blake sets a screen, normally he pops, so man, switch everything and you force them to ISO, right? But when DeAndre sets a screen, he's not popping. It's a strict roll. It's like a Rudy Gobert screen. So what a lot of teams naturally do, instincts-wise, is you play drop coverage because you don't want the alley. It's an alley threat. So you play drop coverage. So Kyrie's going to have bare pull-ups. When DeAndre actually helps them also offensively. That's why you've seen throughout the season, even though he struggled defensively and he was, he was a liability at certain times, offense was never the issue with DeAndre, because he could play on the rebounder role where now you're about to pull up, a man has to contest straight alley to DeAndre. That's why he was getting easy buckets easily. He's so potent with the Harden pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? He's so potent with that because of obviously the lob threat ability. Then now you also add the fact that, like I was saying, off-ball screens and all these screens where now KD has an easy pull-up. Kyrie has an easy pull-up because the big's going to play drop coverage. And now if you play high, then now you see KD act like he's going to pull up, throw the alley to DeAndre, easy dunk. Like, it's more easier. He's more like a Robert Williams situation, right? So it's like, when you look at that, like that, they're going to be even more unlocked, even more in certain actions, right, that they run. So, you know, it's one of those, like, if Giannis isn't hitting, if Giannis isn't shooting those threes, if Giannis isn't doing what he did in those last couple regular season games that he did on DeAndre, where DeAndre sagged up and they did that game plan and Giannis was splashing, this could be done quickly, right? But I give the Bucks the benefit of the doubt. I liked how they swept the Heat. I give them the benefit of the doubt. So I will say the Nets in 6. That's my prediction. But my reasons for it is the potent ability for the Nets is too different. I don't have anybody beating the Nets this year. You know what I'm saying? It's just the ability is too potent. Now, obviously, people are going to talk about their defense, but defense is going to look different in the playoffs. Like, you're going to have to, like I said, kill off the ISO. Now, the Bucks do have ball movement at times. Will they switch it up? Will they now, instead of having Giannis just, face up and kill DeAndre, and I'm pretty sure Nash will start DeAndre. I'm pretty sure he's going to have to, right? Because you want length. You don't want the only length, like Blake is shorter than KD. The only length KD would have to guard Giannis. But I don't know if they want KD guarding Giannis. I think IQ would have KD guard Middleton, right? Because Middleton has KD-like ability. And you have DeAndre guard Giannis because Giannis is only paint, right? So why would, you don't want to waste KD's good defense and lateral defense and length in terms of you have to shoot over me on a guy that's going to strictly go to the paint. You don't want to waste that. So you want a best case scenario, put KD on Middleton and put DeAndre on Giannis. That's ideal. And then you have Blake come off the bench and he's matched up with maybe a Lopez, or maybe you play, maybe you play both of them. I don't know, right? You don't start a Bruce Brown. You actually play Blake and you play DeAndre, right? Maybe you do that and then Clax comes off the bench. because normally they probably would have started Jeff Green. Now and also too, Jeff Green's health is crucial. So maybe they started Jeff Green or Blake and they put him on Lopez, right? Because Lopez starts, and then you put DeAndre on the Giannis, and then you go from there, right? And then obviously off the bench, then you still have Clax, right? Remember, Clax wasn't there in the last Bucks games too. So now Clax will match up with a Portis or whoever, right? So and so when you look at it from that perspective, like when I look at the Bucks, I do like how they've changed some things. Now this will test them really when Giannis is struggling, or if Giannis, because Giannis has the opportunity that he's sagging off. Are they gonna just go to Giannis where he's doing what he was doing, right? Or he's not doing what he's doing, or are you gonna switch it up and actually put Giannis in pick and roll situation? That's what I always said is the best for them. The best for them is putting Giannis as the pick and roller, right? So now obviously Middleton can now pull up off the gap because you got to honor the role. Or now when they switch, you do maybe have a baby on Giannis or whatever the case is, right? So, but again, I see the Nets switching everything, and it comes down to, is the Bucks big three potent enough one-on-one wise? Because you're gonna see a lot of forced one-on-one. Is the Bucks big three potent enough one-on-one wise to match up with the Nets big three one-on-one wise? And then now when the Nets are killing one-on-one and you try to double them, you got Shaman, you got Harris, you got shooters. You even got Kyrie still there who could shoot, James Harden. Like, you got shooters. So I don't honestly, like, I say the Nets in 6. But there's potential either way. This could potentially, if say for some reason Giannis is hot and he tapped into a new leaf, right? And he's hitting shots or whatever, this could have potential to where it goes 7 games where the Bucks is actually potent on offense and they're matching with the Nets, so it's a pick 'em every game, right? Or it could go the other way which is more likely than the other one, which is that Giannis still struggling because he's been struggling even in the series versus the Heat. He was struggling with Crowder not Crowder. He was struggling with Ariza on him, right? In terms of shooting. It's playoff shooting is different than regular season shooting. So he could struggle. That's more likely that he struggles, right, from shooting. And where now they are not potent enough offensively in terms of just matching the Nets. So now it's done in 5. So there's a potential to it to go either way. Nets in 7 or Nets in 5, right? Nets in 5 or 4, like one of those is potential. But if I had to pick my money, I would say Nets in 6, because I do believe that the Bucks have added Drew and defense and stuff like that they can get away. I think they can get away with 2 games, maybe, especially the fact that you've seen the Nets lost 1 game to the Celtics. That was more so too. They were like, oh, come on now, we should beat these guys. So they didn't change game plans within the game and adjust. They just stick with it. Eventually the law of average is going to play out. But the Nets, if the Nets do that shit with the Bucks can get away with 2 games where now, even if Giannis isn't potent, the others are just snapping and whatever the case is. And, they have ball movement. Middleton is carrying and whatever the case. Like, that's possible for 2 games. Now, is it enough to win? I don't think so. But I do believe that they can get away with 2 games. But so that's if I have to put my money on the line, I would say Nets in 6. But something in me is leaning towards where, like, I could see the Nets in 5. Like, I could see, like, the Bucks team you saw versus the Heat and people, like, it all be capped when they face the Nets. I can see the Nets switch everything and force bare ISOs. And I don't see, like, Middleton be potent with ISOs on KD. Drew Holiday with potent with ISOs on, maybe he has to be the one averaging 30 because maybe he fries Kyrie or whatever, Like, are they going to be potent enough? And then Giannis adds a 1-2-20 or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? I really see that Giannis struggling, and I see Middleton carry for a certain moment, and then it's not enough to outlast the Nets carrying and the Nets isoing. So that's honestly, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I see playing out. I really see that, honestly. And, that's why I could honestly, I'm leaning towards Nets in 5, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stick to my gut is saying Nets in 5, but I'm going to stick to my logic, giving the Bucks the benefit of the doubt. And I'm saying the Nets in 6. So that's my prediction with the Nets. Like I said, the Bucks is just unfortunate to where, like, to me, this would have been the more elite conference finals. I don't believe in Philly. I believe in the Bucks more than I believe in Philly. I've always said that because at the end of the day, like, Embiid, again, you add his injury history, right? Obviously, you add so many different things. So honestly, like, we'll see how it kind of transpired. And even then, if Embiid isn't healthy and Embiid isn't who Embiid's supposed to be, they could even lose to the Hawks. Let's be honest. So, we'll talk about that later down the line as well too. But at the end of the day, this is my prediction. This is my breakdown. This is the thinking of what I'm thinking. And, like, honestly, that big 3 is, like, it's more different than what people thought it was. It's not like I thought it was going to be this different. I already knew that. You heard me from time. Playoff time, you're really going to see the Nets big three be the Nets big three. Regardless if it was 1 game played together, 8 game, 2 game, 60 game, 5 game. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Bruh, it don't matter. At the end of the day, like, they're what elite looks like. So, obviously, we'll see how it transpires. It's going to be a great series. That's Saturday. Obviously, I'm breaking down every one of those games. And we still have the Clippers tonight, right? Or maybe it just passed. I don't know by the time this video comes out. But we'll see. There might be a lot of shockers in this playoffs. We thought it was going to be as elite as we thought. You already seen LeBron get shocked. You've seen Dame get shocked. You've seen that he even get shocked by getting swept. Like, you've seen a lot of shockers. So, we'll see how it goes. First time since 2010, there's no LeBron, Steph in the finals. That's crazy. But, we'll see how everything transpires. And, at the end of the day, this is the series of all series right now. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I hope that is actually a longer one, but something's telling me this could be a quick one because we've been anticipating a lot of these series to go down the line to 7, and some of them haven't, right? So we'll see, man. We'll see. The ability over everything, skill over everything. So I appreciate y'all. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We out here. I appreciate y'all. Again, share, like, and subscribe. Like I said, it's TRU Talks, because TRU Talks, man. Click that notification button so you know when I'm here, because I'm here. You feel me? You already know, man. It's what elite looks like. We getting that groove back. We doing all of that, what we need to do. But I just need y'all to spread the word. You know what I mean? Get my, I know the last video did a lot of great views. My subscribers been increasing. Let's try and get to 5K subscribers by the end of this playoffs. I know y'all could do it. I know y'all could, spread the word. Work for me, fam. Work for me. The further we get, the more elite we get in terms of just, the people supporting your boy and the people rocking with your boy and just having that true crew increase. You get what I'm saying? The more we have that, the more the videos become more elite, the more the content becomes more elite because, there's more people that are weighed in and all of that. I really try and do this all for y'all, but the more I get more, people backing me and more subscribers and whatever, I can't even get away. I'm going to be forced to even do every video that I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can't because, I'm busy and stuff like that. Obviously, I still try for y'all. And, I know y'all are waiting. Y'all are waiting. I already know who the real ones are. Y'all are waiting. Y'all are the real ones with me. But at the end of the day, spread the word, man. Spread the word. Share it to mans. You're on IG. Share my page. Don't even share my page. Share the YouTube and my page. Share both. Click the link below. Follow my Twitter. Follow my IG. Follow my YouTube. Share the pages. You know what I'm saying? Send it to man's DMs. Tell this person, whoever guys you have rapport with on IG. Post it on your IG. Whatever you got to do. Some of y'all have good followings. Some of y'all don't. Don't matter. Share a post. Do whatever you got to do, man. Put me in one of your posts. I appreciate y'all, man. Just help me get out there. Let's get to 5K. You already know. I might do another giveaway. You already know I did a giveaway of a gift card and all of that. I did one. I might do one at 5K. So, let's keep spreading the word. Keep doing that. I also will probably go on IG Live for maybe these games coming up in the second round. I don't know about Saturday, but maybe down the line I will do one. But, keep spreading the word, man. Keep spreading the word. I appreciate y'all, man. It's what elite looks like. And I'm out, man.